What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again. And this is where we at here. So you clearly see the title of the broadcast, and yeah, we're gonna have a couple of things here that I'm gonna show you guys. This is very serious. We're gonna hear from some people from Iran and stuff like that. Also, to I got one American citizen that has ties to Iran, and a lady that's also going to explain about how women are super oppressed in Iran, and how she's pretty much mad with United States liberals for actually trying to support Iran on this craziness. Like,
what the French toast is there to think about?
now, growing up, I used to hear things about growing up in the news, stuff like that. I mean, you hear things growing up. You can't help to hear things. Times were different back then, especially in the 90s, all type of stuff. But the news was the news, and Iran was always trying to diss the United States. I mean, it just is what it is. But listen, look here. We're about to dive off into this, and we're about to see what's going on here, and we're about to hear from these people. So let's go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
To the young people who are saying Iran has the right to fight against the oppressor of Israel, what is your concern?
This was not an unprovoked attack. This was a meeting of senior IRGC leaders with Hezbollah in IRGC military base in Syria. And then you have to ask these questions. What are they doing there? Why are they there? What do you think that they're doing there? They've been attacking Israel since October 7th, before October 7th, way back to the 19s. So then when we see this TikTok generation of people that are coming out twerking on TikTok about how the access of resistance is going to free Watermelonia. Okay, so now we've reached the point that you've just completely lost it. You've completely lost it. You're supporting a terrorist regime that the Iranian people have been trying to free themselves from. And now what you want to do is live vicariously through this attack against Israel, which did nothing but seriously injure a 7-year-old Bedouin girl. And this is the liberation that you're fantasizing about.
Man, this is crazy. This is crazy. And you know what I'm saying? This was News Nation, a clip from News Nation and things like that. So from what this young lady just said is that the Iranian people have been trying to liberate themselves from that particular regime, for a long period of time. Hold on here. My camera is a little fuzzy here, but man, this is wild, bro. This is wild. So, what I'm saying, we're learning things here. We're trying to figure some stuff out. Let's see what's going on here, because this is crazy. Let's go to the next clip and see what this gentleman had to say, U.S. veteran. So let's go here now.
Would you support the United States getting into the war with Iran?
No, not a chance.
What do you think should happen?
Precision strikes, just precision strikes, get rid of any ability for them to have a nuclear weapon, but no boots on the ground, never again. Countries like Iran, you can't allow them to obtain any sort of a high enriched uranium to make a weapon. If they want to have nuclear energy, that's another thing, but highly enriched uranium isn't meant for nuclear energy. That's only meant for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to make a bomb.
How dangerous are these people over there in those parts of the world?
The people of Iran are great people. If you look at Iran in the 70s and the 80s, it was very much like any other country, first world country. But with the Ayatollah and with the extremists, taking away women's rights and education, they went backwards instead of forward. They damned themselves a little bit. The people are fine. It's their leadership that needs an adjustment.
And should the United States go after that nuclear weapon that they are apparently building?
1,000%. Yeah.
You would support them going into the war?
Yeah, I would. It wouldn't be a war, so it's not a war.
So say they did enter into this war, how long would you think this would last? Do you think it'd be one missile, one bomb, and it's over?
I think, well, it's never just one bomb. I think if you're looking at, it'd be a tiered precision strike, so it'd happen in phases, but it wouldn't be something like Bush's, coin fight, the counterinsurgency fight with Iraq, Afghanistan for 20 plus years. It wouldn't be a continuation of that. I think Trump live up to his word of it being just hey, we're just going to strike this and that's that. I don't like the fact that we have to get involved in stuff like this, but when you have a country like Iran who potentially they're working diligently to try and get a bomb, that's scary. That should be scary for any American or anyone in the Western world.
Yo, listen, look.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
It's wild to say, but this is the thing right here. So we heard from this veteran right here and things like that. We're just going to take all this footage that I'm showing you guys on face value right now. And from what this veteran is saying is that, Iran has been one of the, one of the entities in the Middle East for decades now that has been kind of, terrorizing and providing a lot of, resistance in the Middle East. And, it seems to me that, Iran has been doing a lot of things and stuff like that. And like I said before, I remember growing up hearing about, on the news, hearing about, Iran doing a lot of treacherous things and stuff like that. Yeah, man, it's wild out here, but this is where we at right now. Now, be honest with you, I'm with him on this factor of I don't think we need boots on the ground, and because that's a war. When we need to put boots on the ground, people in place, actual physical beings to maneuver around and stuff like that in a war zone, that's an actual war. Okay, so but striking and things like that, from what he was saying and stuff, trying to build, a nuclear bomb and stuff like that. Jesus, man. When we know that Iran has supported a lot of crazy little things throughout the decades and stuff. So all right, we're about to keep going. Because yeah, man, this is wild out here, man. And we have, situations here to where we need to hear these people. So we're going to go here now and we're going to hear what this young man here has to say. I think he's actually, in Iran at this moment. So, okay. All right.
The regime is a dictatorship organization and it is oppressing the people of Iran. And a free Iran is one without the dictator and without the oppressive regime.
When you look at the future of Iran, do you see a leadership group? Do you see someone out there that you kind of think represents a good vision for the future of the country?
I think the most clear one is Maryam Rajavi. She is the president-elect for the future of Iran. And I think she sets a great example for the women of Iran. And I also envision youth leadership too. Out here we have a lot of young Iranian Americans. So I believe Maryam Rajavi and Iranian youth are going to be the future of Iran.
So he's promoting, the future of, whatever they're trying to do over there in, I keep saying Iran, but, he's saying Iran. It is what it is. If I'm mispronouncing it, excuse me, maybe it is, Iran. But the thing of this is yes, I'm saying, you see the protests and things like that. He clearly said that the entity that's in power right now has been oppressing these people over there, things like that. And this is what's going on here. And we're going to hear from more people about this situation that's going on over in, Iran, or I'll try to pronounce it right, but it is what it is here. So let's go to this gentleman here and see what he had to say about, his homeland. He's from what little bit I, gathered here. I didn't go deep, but what little bit I did gather, he's an American citizen, but he has ancestry over there. Let's go here now.
As an Iranian American, I just wanted to share some of my thoughts and feelings on the war that's going on between Iran and Israel. I find myself having mixed emotions. My family immigrated to the States as religious refugees. And because the people of my faith are persecuted back in Iran, I'm having mixed emotions because the war is bad, no matter how you look at it. And I think we can all agree that nobody likes war, nobody wants
Right.
war.
True that. True that.
But the current regime, and I use that word because the government that's currently in power in Iran is illegitimate and unwanted, and they must go. It's a tyrannical regime that's been sucking the life out of the Iranian people for over 45 years now. But the Iranian people are beautiful, they're loving, they're inventors, they're industrious, and they love America and they love Americans.
Hold on.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
Hold on. So what is he saying right now? So obviously this gentleman right here has, of course, ties to his homeland and things like that. And he's speaking up for his people, and he's trying to plead for the facts of that, Iran, how we pronounce it, because it's been pronounced very differently. But American speaking versus their homeland speaking. But this is the facts here. What he's saying is that the people in that land, actually do, have a certain level of respect for America and things like that. And they, oh man, this is wild right here. The things you don't know and the information that you don't know, because, things get scrambled and stuff like that. I'm glad that we do have some of this new age technology to where individuals like him can get online, talk to us, let us know what's going on. He's, lineage is from there. So, let's just keep going.
And Iran itself is a beautiful country. And that's where the mixed emotions are. A lot of us, including myself, believe that the only way to kick this regime out is through outside military intervention.
What? Hold on. What did he just say?
And what the French toast is there to think about?
Hold on. What did he just say? He said it. I did.
Outside military intervention. Believe that the only way to kick this regime out is through outside military intervention. But watching the people of my homeland and my ancestral home getting killed, and the country that I love getting destroyed, is hard to watch. It's painful. And so I'm having mixed emotions, but I think, again, the majority of us, the majority of Iranians, hope that there's a light at the end of this tunnel, and that light is this regime getting booted out. So that's it. Please.
Hey, listen, look, we just heard from two people that are saying that this, regime over there in, Iran or Iran, it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem with these people. And, they're tired of it and they want better and things like that. So now we're about to go here now. And we're about to hear from this young lady right here. And she's going to explain how women over there are hugely, being, oppressed and things like that. Say we heard from the gentleman and stuff like that, which, I guarantee it's not just the women. There are men over there that are being oppressed too, with the regime or what the gentleman was saying. So let's go here now and see what she has to say.
Hello everyone, so this video is for the people who are backing up Iran right now, mostly Democrats, that they are supporting Iran right now. So I want to go over a few rules and laws in Iran about women. Basically, it's everything against what Democrats believe. So if you're a woman in Iran, they see you as a half a brain. So you don't have the full brain. So let's say if you witnessed a murder and you're a woman and you want to go to the court and say that you witnessed the murder, there should be 3 women. So your witness, like your words, will be approved in the court. versus if it's a man and it witnessed a murder, only one man is enough. Why? Because they say women have half a brain. If you're a woman in Iran, you have kids and you want to divorce, you only can have that child until 7 years. After 7 years, your child is for your husband, and he can come and take the child away from you, and you might never ever see your child again.
Okay, now that's complicated. That's complicated to me. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying here now, let's just be blunt. At the end of the day, though, if you are, in a real marriage, things like that, you know what I'm saying? Yes, listen, look, children are, more understanding and things like that when they have their fathers involved. Now, I'm not saying, because it's seeming like this is some treacherous type of crap that's going on over there in Iran. It's treacherous, but because, over here, if quote unquote men will lead the household, whatever, things like that, you know what I'm saying? Of course, the mother, of course, is going to have access to her children. It's not just going to take the children away from their mothers, it's yin and yang. We need them both. But this is wild right here, so yeah, these are archaic laws that, you people need to really understand over here in America and be thankful that we don't live like this, because this is crazy. This is crazy.
Or if he doesn't want to, he can leave this child with you, and there is nothing that you can do about it. If you're a woman in Iran and you want to divorce your husband, you have to go through hell. But if your husband wants to divorce you, it's super easy for them. If you're a woman in Iran and you're being beaten up by your husband, and me as your neighbor call the police and say, my neighbor is, hitting his wife to death, police will do nothing. They will say, well, it's a family matter and it is his wife. So basically, a wife for a man is like an object, just like they bought a car or something. So they will not interfere, and they will say that it's their personal problem. It's not our problem.
I don't understand women over here, man. Y'all got to stop it.
What the French toast is there to think about?
Jesus. Because women over here in America always screaming about how much they're oppressed and, the wages aren't fair and this and that. These women in Iran going through some real treacherous ass shit. This is crazy. Oh my goodness, man. And that's the problem with people not being thankful. You know what I'm saying? And, our women over here in America look at men as like we're just these super oppressive type of individuals and things like that. It's like, man, wow.
If you're a woman in Iran and you want to travel out of country, you have to have the approval from your father if you're single, or your brother if you don't have a father. If you're married, you have to have the approval from your husband. So basically, your husband has to sign a paper that gives you the permission to leave the country. And let's say your husband said you can't keep the kid. Until that kid is 18 years old, you have no right over that kid. Basically, if you want to leave the country, the kid cannot leave the country unless the father approves it and give the permission. If you're a woman in Iran, you can never become a judge, because they say women decide with their emotions, so they cannot be a good judge.
I mean, technically, most women do move off emotions. I mean, these are facts, though. Technically, these are facts. It's not a lot of women that move logically on this planet. And, you know what I'm saying? We know this. This is, I mean, like it or not, it's just the truth. Most women do not move off logic. So, yeah, that's, it is what it is, though. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? For thousands of years, you know what I'm saying? Most women haven't been in these super high power positions and stuff like that, and it is kind of on purpose. Like, whether we like this or not, man, women with their emotions and stuff like that, and they move the way that they move. And to be honest with you, though, we need women to be that way in order to kind of give that counterbalance to society and things like that. You know what I'm saying? The way that they move. We don't need them to move chaotically with their emotions, but we need them to have that type of emotions, you know what I'm saying? Because as men, we're solid, we're one track thinkers, we move one way, and we need that counterbalance of women's emotions, stuff like that, to kind of give that extra little thought process to a degree.
If you're a woman and you walk into your home and you see your husband with another woman and you get mad and you kill them, you will be hanged. But if you're a man, you walked in a room and get your husband with another man, you can kill both of them and nothing's gonna happen to you. In Iran, you will be.
Hold on, I wonder if she meant another woman, because I know I guarantee you, I'm pretty sure in Iran they're not gonna play that dude on dude shit.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
And that's no slight to, what I'm saying, at the end of the day, like, we over here in America, you do your thing, but I'm talking about what she talking about right here. We're sticking to what she's saying. I think she meant something else.
Hanged if you kill someone, that's the punishment. But if you're a woman and you kill someone and your punishment is hanging, but you are virgin, they will first rape you before they hang you.
What?
I know that you can't even put.
Hold on here. Jesus Christ. Now that also is one of the treacherous. That's treacherous. Are you kidding me? I mean, the whole scenario is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess because, what I'm saying, listen, look, man, I grew up over here in America, and yeah, things like that don't go on. Your wife catch you cheating with another chick, or you catch your wife cheating with another dude. Like it just don't, like, man, wow, this is wild, man. I don't understand how women over here in America think that they are, super oppressed. When it's stuff like this going on over there in Iran, man, these women over in Iran, man, Jesus, man, they going through some shit out here.
So what the French toast is there to think
They
about?
going through some real, I'm talking about super toxic ass patriarchy type shit. I'm talking about they going through, man. These women over here talking about the patriarchy is controlling us and won't pay us proper wages. What is these women going through? This is wild, bro.
This in your imagination, but that is true. Because in Islam, you cannot hang a virgin woman.
What?
In Iran, if a woman does not want to sleep with the husband and have sex, and the husband basically force you and kind of rape you, actually, it does not count as a rape. So your husband can basically force you to have sex, and there is nothing that you can do about it. In Iran, a woman cannot sing. No man can hear your voice singing. In Iran, if you're a woman and you get raped, do you know what's the first thing that they ask you? What did you do that they raped you? As a woman in Iran, we get sexually assaulted every day. Me, myself, I've been in Iran for 27 years. I've been sexually assaulted every day. Not by raping, but you walking in the street, they will touch your butt. They will touch you. They will say nasty things in your ear. You're not safe anywhere. You sit in taxi, a man next to you, they will touch you. There is nothing you can do really about it. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of choosing your sexuality, forget about it. You want to be a bisexual, you want to be gay, you want to be lesbian in Iran, forget about it. You can be, but there's going to be consequences for that, and you better not be caught. And this was just a very, very small amount of the things that's going on in Iran against women. So next time that any person that leaves in Europe and in America, and they want to support Iran's government, just think about all this, and shame on you if you do.
Stop it. Wow. Hold on.
And they want to.
Yeah, we're gonna end it off with her face like that. You know what I'm saying? Man, Jesus. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So this is where we at right here.
Just think about all this, and shame on you if you do.
Man, damn. This is crazy though. Sorry, guys. Let's go here now. Jesus, man. So this is where we at right here with the, Iran, there's been so many different names in the situation. This is where we at right here, man. So, we've heard from people and things like that that are, living over there and that are not living over there. And we see what type of state that they're in, mentally, physically. Jesus, man. It's just wild. This is wild, bro. And for the liberals, if you're supporting something like that, and then for the U.S. liberals, if you're supporting something like that and you're living in this country, and that's just like that's a overdue of things. And a lot of women will sit over here in America and be like, they're so oppressed over here in America, when those women and the men over there are going through things too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, of course, it is what it is. We're going to see the women speak up more, but yeah, it's just a whole oppression over there with that particular regime that's in power right now. And this is crazy. And this is what those people are going through. And this is what's happening. And it's sad to see that, people are going through this type of craziness. Definitely what that last lady had said, stuff like that. The other gentleman that's, an American citizen, but he's adjacent to that country. And the other gentleman that, is still over there trying to fight the fight. Man, stop it, bro. This is wild, but this is where we at right here. So apparently, yeah, I don't get it, but the Iran is not this, peaceful place that, some of these liberals are trying to make this shit out to be, man. It's sad, but this is where we at right here. Shout out to, what I'm saying, all those people in Iran, the decent citizens that have nothing to do with what the regime is trying to do. I get it, but this is where we at right now. Hopefully, hopefully y'all can get rid of that particular regime over there and find out a way to get more peaceful people in your government or whatever, so y'all can live a better life. Yeah, but it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.